In this video, I'm going to reveal the step-by-step blueprint of how we use just 4 metrics when scaling brands like Mark Cuban and A-Rod's Vague Nutrition, Flower by Drew Barrymore, InStyler, Dermaclara, Harry Josh Pro Tools, and all of these other brands that you probably see all over social media. This video is going to be an in-depth tutorial, and you'll leave knowing exactly how to use our ROAS matrix to find out what are the 4 metrics you should care about when running ads, and exactly how you can improve each one of them to increase your ROAS and scale your e-commerce brand to multiple 7 or 8 figures. Before we get into it, my name is Kieran Finn. I'm the founder of Bluefin Media, an e-commerce growth agency that scales all brands similar to the ones I mentioned before, as well as many others that do not have a celebrity backing behind them. So don't worry, this will apply to you too. I also like sharing what I know through e-commerce events and podcasts, as well as mentoring other agencies and marketers too. Now, what are the metrics and what is the ROAS matrix? First, we need to understand that when we run ads in eCom, there are only 4 possible areas that can bring us return on ad spend. First, you have the amount that you pay to the ad platforms to actually show your ads to people. This is the cost per 1,000 views, or the CPM. Then we have the percentage of people that actually click your ads after seeing them. This is the click-through rate, or what we call CTR. Then after this, we have the percent of those people that have clicked your ads and visited your page, who then actually go on to make a purchase. This is the conversion rate of your ads. And then of course, we have the amount that those customers actually spend on your store. This is the average order value, or you'll sometimes hear this being called AOV. Now guys, every single thing that you will ever do to try to improve ROAS will fall into one of these 4 buckets. Do you know what's crazy? Nobody talks about this. Why does no one talk about this? Guys, we have clients who come to us all the time from other agencies, and they have no idea why their ROAS is low. The agencies always just tell the brands they need to do more testing, but when we audit them, we can pinpoint which of the 4 metrics is lagging behind which of those 4 areas, and boom, the brand now has clarity and we can focus on that. And most of the time, it is not the same issue that their current agency is saying it is. Because guys, most agencies have no clue about this. They are just trying random solutions, hoping that one of them will provide a result. But surprise, trying things at random rarely works. And this is the #1 reason why agencies produce inconsistent results, because they try some random things to hopefully solve a problem that they don't understand. And maybe sometimes one of them will work, but most of the time it doesn't, because it's really just luck. Okay, so let's look at the 4 areas and how these actually combine to give us return on ad spend. This here is the ROAS matrix. I'm gonna show it on screen for you. As you can see, I'm gonna highlight now the conversion rate, the average order value, and the click-through rate. If we increase any one of these 3, we will improve our ROAS. And here we have the CPM. And if we reduce this, then we will improve our ROAS as well. The ROAS matrix here is the only way to get ROAS. Everything that we ever do to try and improve ROAS is simply trying to improve one of those 4 metrics. That's it, whether we realize it or not. So it is crucial to understand this and remember it. Whatever you need to do, write it down, tattoo it on your forehead, whatever it is, do not forget this. Keep it in mind. And you might be looking at this equation and thinking, this is getting kind of complex. And well, it is. Running ads is easy. Publishing an ad inside a Facebook ad account is very, very easy. This is why most agencies just hire cheap freelancers and charge a premium to brands for them to run ads. But building a performance marketing strategy for a brand is not easy. Being able to identify the exact reason why a brand's marketing is not performing, and then knowing the exact solution to rectify that problem, this is hard. This is not easy, but it is worth it. It is the only way to truly scale an e-commerce brand in 2024. Okay, so we have our ROAS matrix. Now I want to make sure that you understand the power of this. The easiest way is to run through some example numbers with you. So let's do that right now. So let's say the CPM is $20. Our click-through rate is 2%, conversion rate is 3%, and the average order value is $100. Here we come out to a ROAS of 3x. Following here? Perfect. So now, what can we do to increase this ROAS? Well, if we double the conversion rate, as you can see here, then we double our return on ad spend to 6x. If we double average order value, then again, we double our return on ad spend to a 6x. If we double our click-through rate, then again, we double our return on ad spend to 6x. And if we halve our CPM, then we double our return on ad spend to a 6x. And as a side note, you've probably heard of cost per click. You maybe know it's important and you might be thinking, where does this fit into the ROAS matrix? I can't see it. In reality, cost per click really comes from combining our CPM and our CTR. So it is technically included in the equation because we have both of these in there already. For the ad nerds out there, here is the equation for cost per click. I'm going to show that on the screen. You don't really need to know this. What you need to know is that by improving your CPM and your CTR, you will be reducing your cost per click. Great, so now we know the 4 metrics that make up the ROAS matrix. And we know that by improving each metric, we will lead to an improvement in our ROAS. We either have to increase average order value, increase our click-through rate, increase our conversion rate, or decrease our CPM. And remember, there is no other way to increase ROAS. Everything that we ever do, if it improves ROAS, it simply had an effect on one of those 4 metrics. Amazing, we're making real progress here. You now know more than 90% of agencies and marketers. Hooray! But now we need to know what we can change in order to actually improve these metrics. And there are endless options of how we can do this, but I'm gonna run you through a few of the most common ones for each metric, as well as a real life example of how we've done it for one of our clients. Let's start with the average order value. As we know, average order value is the average amount that each customer spends per order. And if we can increase average order value, we'll increase our ROAS. Take a look at this screenshot here. You can see average order value doubled from $248 in September all the way up to $496 in October. And ROAS went from 1.39x all the way up to 3.32. In this specific example, we had to rebuild the entire marketing strategy for the brand so that we could sell the higher priced products on their store, which weren't selling previously. It was a boatload of work, but as you can see, it paid off and the results were massive. And by the way, I want you to know, it is not easy to increase average order value like this. It is not common, okay? It is very difficult to ask people to spend twice as much as they are spending on your store, especially if they're already spending $248. Big shout out to the client on this. Wouldn't have been possible if our teams weren't so aligned. Now this is great, but how can you increase average order value on your store? Now, like I said before, there are endless ways to increase average order value on the store, but I'm gonna walk you through some of the most common right now with some tips for you. So, like in the example I gave you before, the first option is to sell higher priced products. This is a lot more difficult than it sounds. You might just think, yeah, let's just sell some higher priced products. But really, like I said, typically if you have higher priced products, the people who buy them are going to be a different demographic than the people who are buying the lower priced products, if there's a big difference. And so in that case, you're going to have to completely rebuild the marketing strategy. You're going to have to research this person, understand who they are, the words they use, why they're buying this product, and then build an entire new marketing strategy around this to make that happen. Then, of course, you've got everything on the website. If the pages aren't properly optimized and set up around that customer, we're going to have to rethink all that as well. So it is a lot of work, but it can be a very, very strong strategy when working correctly. The second option is bundles, and this is something that can work very, very well, and we help our clients with this quite often. So let's say you have Triple Whale installed on your store. With Triple Whale, you can see the 2 products that are most frequently bought together. For example, if it's a fashion brand, you can see that very clearly. You can take those 2 products and create an attractive bundle for customers, because if they're frequently bought together, makes sense to bundle them. People would buy them at the same time. And if they get a bit of a discount, if they get something else, maybe they could buy 3 and get a 4th one for free if it's something like in the CPG niche, right? Doing that, you can massively increase your average order value, you can convince people to spend more per order, and you can therefore spend a lot more to acquire a customer, and it works very, very well for ads. The caveat with this is you will usually have to create a new landing page as well, so it's not just as simple as creating new ads for it. And then of course it depends on the operations and distribution side for the brand. If it is nice and simple to create bundles in the warehouse or whatever logistics system they have going on, then this can be a great option. And then you have upsells and cross sells. So it's very, very good. If you can get your customers to buy from you in the same order, then you have less shipping costs and you have less packaging costs, right? So if you can do this on the website, there are many ways to do it. For example, let's say on your product page, if you aren't suggesting the frequently bought together products underneath this, then you're probably missing out on some extra sales and increasing your average order value. Another way to do this is in the actual cart. So you can have it where when someone adds to the cart, you can have, for example, get free shipping if you spend above a certain amount, or get a free gift when you spend above a certain amount, or anything like this. You can have that as an option to increase that too. You can also just show recommended items in that cart as well, and show ones that are related and frequently bought with the ones that they have. There are a boatload of Shopify apps to do this if you don't want to custom code it. It's pretty simple to do. And then you've also got one-click upsells, which are actually after the person has purchased a product. Once they've purchased it, you can give them a one-time offer after they've purchased, where they can redeem that offer and add that product to their order. This would usually be shown on the confirmation page after they have made their purchase. However, there is also a common strategy where you can do this as a post-purchase email flow. So as soon as they place their order, they get an email with a one-time offer, or if you don't want to do an offer, just promoting another product which is frequently bought with the other one, and you can say, hey, add this to your order within X hours, and it will be added into the actual order. This means that you don't have to ship two separate products. Your packaging and logistics cost is lower, and shipping cost, and it works very well for both sides. And by the way, guys, if you want a full breakdown of the case study that I walked through before where we doubled average order value, I have a full video that walks through exactly how we did it and what that looked like. I'm gonna link that somewhere around here in one of these corners, and I'll put it in the description below, so make sure to check that out. Okay, now we have the second metric, which is conversion rates. As we know, the conversion rate is the percent of people who visit your website that then actually go on to purchase. And if we can increase our conversion rate, then we are going to increase our ROAS. Now, there are two main areas when it comes to increasing conversion rate. The first one is what is commonly known as conversion rate optimization, or CRO. And this typically refers to everything on the website. So think things like changing the layout of the site so it's more accessible for customers, building landing pages that sell more, so better copy, better images, talking more about the customer, making it clear what the unique selling points of your products are, as well as things like improving page load speed and all of this. This is what we would call on-site CRO. But then there is also what we call pre-click CRO. No one talks about this, but this is everything that happens before a person clicks on an ad. And almost everyone ignores this, but this can have a huge, huge, huge effect on conversion rate. Take a look at this screenshot here. Here you can see two ads from the same ad account. Ad number one at the top has a conversion rate of 1.28%, and the ROAS is 2.33. Take a look at the ad underneath this. Here the conversion rate is 2.54%, so a massive increase, and the ROAS 4.77, also a huge increase. And in this specific situation, we focused on pre-click CRO. So we had to make sure that the ads accurately spoke to the exact people who we wanted to speak to, our ideal customers. At the same time, we needed to make sure that the ads were not misleading. Okay, I see so many agencies who run clickbaity ads with the sole goal of getting as many clicks as possible. So they make crazy claims and talk about things that are never even anywhere on the website itself. And all that happens when people click them is they visit the website and they never purchase, because of course they clicked something and then there's nothing about that on the site. It makes sense. This also includes the offers we were running, the campaign structure, everything about the ads themselves. If you want a full breakdown of this, I have a full video that walks through exactly how we did this. I'm going to link it somewhere around here, and I'm going to put it in the description below. But right now I'm going to give you some ideas of what you can do to improve this yourself. So I've already mentioned about not making ads deceiving or being clickbaity. As long as you can make sure that everything you say in your ads is also very clear on the landing page, then you will achieve this. And this is very linked to congruency. So for example, you need to make sure that the branding in the ad is very close to the branding on the website as well. Any discounts or offers or bundles or anything like that that you run must be clear also on the landing page. If you've got it in the ad and it's not on the landing page, it's never going to work. And then we have stock. So this is very important for fashion brands in particular. We need to make sure we have all the products in stock, right? Obviously the product we're actually selling, but fashion brands, for example, they might have 6 different sizes for one product. And what can happen is if we have broken sizes and we're running ads for these products, let's say there's 2 of the 6 sizes are out of stock. What can happen here is people can see the ad, they can like the product, they'll click it, their size will be out of stock, and then they'll leave and they won't buy, of course. So what we do is we have a rule of thumb for our clients. So if we have 2 or more sizes out of stock for a product, we will either pause that ad completely, or we'll make it very clear in the ads what sizes are left. Now, another key way to increase conversion rate from your ads is by pre-framing the sell a lot better. So what I mean by this is when most agencies or marketers run ads, they focus purely on thinking the ads drive traffic and the website is what does the selling. And whilst this can work, what we sometimes do is we focus on selling in the ad as well. So instead of just piquing curiosity, we will make it very clear what we are selling. We'll include all the unique selling points in there. We'll include all the relevant buying information that the buyer will need to know, including the price, so that we know every click that we get is high intent and highly qualified traffic. If we don't do that, we can get so many clicks of people who are never going to buy because of a certain piece of information that they didn't have before they clicked. And the problem with that is that you are paying for those clicks, and the algorithm on the ad platforms chooses who to show the ads to based on the actions that those people take. So if we can make sure that every person who clicks our ad is high intent, a high intent buyer, then the algorithm will have a much easier chance of finding more of those people instead of being confused because there's a big mess of people clicking our ads and not purchasing. Now, pro tip for you here. Typically, when you do things that increase the conversion rates like this, on your ads, you can often see a drop in the click-through rate. This is because instead of getting everybody to click, even people who are not interested, you are focusing on the high intent buyers who will buy your product. So less people will be clicking. However, typically your conversion rate will increase more in proportion to how much your CTR will drop. But it's very important to look at this ratio because sometimes that isn't the case. So you will need to find the sweet spot between volume of clicks and high intent traffic and see which one gives you the highest ROAS. And speaking of CTR, that leads us very nicely onto our next metric, which we're going to discuss, which is the CTR or click-through rate. Remember, this is the percentage of people who click our ad after seeing it. And if we can increase this whilst keeping the other 3 metrics the same, we will increase our ROAS. Now, this primarily comes down to the ad creative that we run, but it is also linked to the audiences that we choose to show our ads to also. Now, for the ad creative, we need to make these ads as enticing as possible. Now, so much goes into this. We need to research the ideal customer. We need to understand everything about them, all of their pain points, all of their desires, the exact reason how our product can meet those 2 pain points and desires, as well as the language that they use. We need to speak with language that resonates with them as well. And of course, to do this, we need to understand the product. We need to understand exactly what we're selling and how that works so that we can know how this can fit in with the ideal buyer. And then once we've got an ad which is highly converting, we need to make sure that the people we show our ads to actually see the ad, which means we need to make it scroll stopping. And this is a completely different side. Here, we're mainly focusing on the hook of the ad, which is the first 3 seconds. When we do this, we are usually analyzing the hook rate. You might have heard this also called the thumb stop ratio. And this is the number of 3-second video views divided by the number of impressions. Industry averages say anything above 30% is good. We don't think that's that good. We typically get higher than that, but that's a good number to base it off for your video ads. And that is specifically for video. For images, it's different. We typically find for most of our clients, video does perform better and we run video more than images, but image and static ads are still very, very strong, especially in the middle and the bottom of funnel. But here we need to make them striking, we need to make them stand out, and we need to make them still stop the scroll. So the same ideas that apply to making the hook stop someone's scroll of a video, we can still use that same mindset of trying to make an image scroll stopping as well. All of this means that our ads, 1, stop the scroll, so the people actually see what the ad says. And then number 2, it resonates directly with that person. The person feels, wow, this is an amazing product. I need to buy this. They click on the ad and they buy. When a higher percentage of people click the ad, we increase our ROAS because more people are coming through the funnel and purchasing from the same ad spend. However, be careful here. Like I said in the conversion rate example, many agencies simply just chase the highest CTR possible and end up creating ads that are deceiving or misleading. It's very easy to make a very big, bold claim that pulls in a lot of traffic, but when they visit that landing page and there's nothing on there, they're not gonna buy. So don't blindly chase a high CTR. You need to make sure that it's still relevant and makes sense to your buyers. If you wanna see this in action, take a look at this screenshot here. First, look at the ad on the bottom. This ad here has a 1.89% click-through rate. And you can see the ROAS is 3.28x, which is still pretty profitable for this client. However, take a look at the ad on top. Here, we have a click-through rate of 3.74 and the ROAS is 5.86. A lot more juicy and a lot more profit. And for this specific client, it was going through all of the things that we mentioned before and making sure that our creative seriously hit with that ideal buyer. If you want to see a full breakdown of that case study, we have a video that goes through it. I'm going to link it somewhere around here and I'll put it in the description below as well. So make sure to check that out. And finally, we have our CPM. This is the last metric of the 4 in the ROAS matrix. This is what the ad platform charges us per 1,000 people. And remember, the other 3 metrics we want to increase. The CPM we want to decrease to increase our ROAS. Now for the ad nerds out there, we do use CPMR, which is the cost per 1,000 unique people reached. This is 1,000 unique people instead of 1,000 total views, which could have the same people viewing the ads multiple times. But anyway, to explain all this, I'm going to share a story with you. So grab your cup of coffee and let's go. Back in the glory days of Facebook, think 2015 era, we could easily manipulate the CPM on Facebook, mainly by running engagement campaigns. When we'd run these campaigns, they'd be super cheap, but everyone would be engaging by commenting, liking, sharing the post. Facebook would see this and it would think that we are running ads that people love. And Facebook wants to promote a positive experience for its user base. If people have a positive experience, they're more likely to come back and they can continue selling ads to this person. So in that time when we ran engagement campaigns like this, Facebook would see a positive user experience and it would reward us with lower CPMs. Then everything changed. It stopped working. We'd run engagement campaigns, we'd see no change in CPM. CPM suddenly became a black box again. Everyone didn't really know how it worked, what Facebook decided to charge us based. We knew that competition came in it somewhat, so if an audience is more competitive, then they would charge us more, but we didn't really know what we could do to bring that number down if we still wanted to target those same people. That was until myself and my team had an idea. It was more the team really, not me. But we thought there are influencers who get millions and millions and millions of views for free. So if we can make our ads look like that, maybe Facebook might like that. So we decided to try it. We got some videos, and instead of going a bit more like we usually would, we decided to make them look a lot more like organic viral videos. We launched them, we didn't really know what was gonna happen, and then boom, the first ad account we tried it in dropped CPM from $36 all the way down to $18. Our minds were blown. Take a look at this screenshot here. Look at the ad on the bottom. Here you can see this ad had a CPM of $36 and the ROAS was 2.5x. Not too great for this client in particular. Then look at what happened when we dropped the CPM to $18. The ROAS jumped up to a 5x. A lot more profit, which is exactly what we want. And I didn't go super in depth on this one because I do have a full video which breaks down this exact case study and how you can do the same, which is probably going to be somewhere around here as I'm talking, or it'll be in the description below. So make sure to check that out. But the key takeaway here for CPM is that the algorithm still works in the same way. It still wants to promote a positive experience to its user base. What it seems is that it's realized that if we run engagement campaigns, it's not really producing a positive experience for the users. So the only way to actually do that is, well, to create a positive experience for your users and get real likes and real shares and real comments. And so that is the way to reduce CPM now. You need to focus on making your content as engaging, as enjoyable to watch, or as controversial to watch as possible. Anything that generates engagement. So go and look at viral organic videos in your niche and take some ideas from there, and you'll start to see, okay, maybe I can include these in my ads, and then you'll see your CPM start to drop. And guys, here's a little trick for you. Even if you're running ads on Instagram and Facebook, you can take a look at TikTok. Take a look at what's trending on the platform, and you can then look and see, how can I leverage these trends? Even if it's something similar as a soundtrack or a meme that's going viral right now. Take a look at how you can leverage these in your ads, and I guarantee your CPM will drop and you will see a huge improvement in your ads. Last year, we even hired a TikTok expert, and their only job was researching trends on TikTok, researching social media to find those trends that we could leverage in our ads, and then writing scripts for our ads to include those trends to improve results. So this stuff works. Okay, let's breathe. We now know all 4 metrics and how they tie in together to form the ROAS matrix. We also know how if we increase some metrics, we can improve ROAS, and how if we decrease one, the CPM, then we will increase ROAS. We also know some ways of how we can actually improve each metrics, some ideas of what we can do to do this. However, we are still left with the very important question. If I've got all of my 4 metrics here, how do I know which of the 4 I need to focus on to improve results? And in theory, you want to improve all of them, right? However, there is probably 1 or 2 that is bottlenecking the whole thing and stopping you from scaling. And if you can focus on this specific bottleneck, you will be able to improve results way faster with way less time and money investment and scale your store. For example, let's say we have a click-through rate of 1% and we're only getting a 2x ROAS. If we can get our click-through rate up to a 3%, which is fairly average and very doable, then we're going to improve our ROAS to a 6x, which is a huge increase. And it's a relatively easy win. It's the low hanging fruit. And that is what we need to look for in the 4 metrics. There will usually be one of them where we can put a little bit of effort in and get a huge increase in results on the other end. But how can we know which one to focus on? If my CPM is $40, is that too high or is that okay? Or how do I know if my average order value, my conversion rate, or my click-through rate are all okay? Or are they too low? We need benchmarks. We need reference points. We need something to compare against. And I would love to sit here and say, hey guys, here is the reference checklist that you can use. But unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all solution for this. There are just too many variables involved. For example, a higher average order value brand would typically have a lower conversion rate. And if they only look to conversion rate, they might panic and say, I need to improve this. But that's okay, because for their industry, their conversion rate could be good. And the higher average order value balances the lower conversion rate. So it works. Or for example, advertising to women in the skincare niche typically has a way higher CPM than other brands that we work with. But again, this is okay, and we make it work despite that. If we didn't know that, we would focus all of our time panicking, saying our CPM is so high, we need to reduce this, when really the CPM there is okay. Where we need to focus are on the other three metrics, for example. And this is the part where it becomes very difficult for the average ecom brand owner, because they only really see their own brand. Maybe they have a few friends, or maybe they're in a mastermind where they can see some others, but it's not like us, where we work with hundreds of brands and we run ads for hundreds of brands. So we are constantly looking at these metrics for all these brands, and we have the reference points to be able to spot. And as soon as we chat with any brand owner and see their metrics, we can see, okay, this is your bottleneck. This is what you need to focus on to increase your ROAS. This is the reason why we provide audits for brands. The first step is we'd usually jump on a call, look at their current situation, and look at where they want to go. We then audit their ad accounts, and we run through the ROAS matrix with them. We use all of our industry experience to recognize which metric they need to focus on to improve results, and then we build out a custom game plan for them based on their situation and the metrics that they need to improve. And then after this audit, if brands want to discuss working with us as a client, we would then usually schedule another call after that to run through any possible potential partnership. If you are an e-commerce brand owner and you want us to come in and audit your store and your ad account, then feel free to check out the link in the description below where you can book a call for that. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next video.